First, I would just like to say good morning or good afternoon, depending on which time zone you're in. My name is Demetrius Gary, and I am one of the current African American Knowledge Community co chairs. I'm elated to serve as your moderator this morning, afternoon for this panel discussion Navigating Your Student Affairs Careers Insights from Black Student Affairs Professionals. We have for you today four dynamic panelists who will share vital information that will be helpful for you as you reflect upon your career in student affairs. Once again, thank you for being here. A couple housekeeping items before we begin. Please use the chat. Um, if you missed something that a speaker might have said, the chat is a great way for our fellow community members to maybe answer your questions so that you can kind of continue to keep up with what's going on. And then we all know that a digital platform can be hard in terms of that exchange of energy that happens naturally in person. So please, if you're feeling some of the things that they're saying, use your reaction tools at the bottom of your screen. Please add to the chat, cheer, clap, snap, do those things so that they can feed off of your energy as they're providing great information for you all. Lastly, at the end of our session today, we will have some time for you all to ask questions of our panelists. And so in order to do that, I just ask that you would just send me a direct message in the chat. And then once we get towards the end, we'll have an opportunity for me to kind of pose those questions to our panelists. And that is important. And so we want to make sure that your questions get answered. So please, 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 as you have those questions, go ahead and send them to me and we'll make sure that we get through as many of those as possible. All right. I'm going to turn it over to our panelists and we're going to go ahead and get started. And so our first question, could you all please introduce yourself, including your name, your role, your institution, and the number of years that you have in the field?
I don't mind sharing first. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, wherever you are. Hey, how you doing? My name is Nadia Campbell, and I currently serve as the director of the Chidsey Leadership Program at Davidson College. And I've been in the field for roughly 11 years.
I am Dr. Ashley Roberts. Y'all can definitely call me Ashley. Just don't call me Dr. Ashley. I am the Executive Director of Student Affairs Planning and Operations at Stockton University, where I've been for almost 7 months. And I've been in the field similar to Nadia. We entered at the same time, so about 11 years.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Demetha Lachey Bradley. I am the Assistant Vice President and Dean of Students at Macalester College in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I've been in the field 21 years.
Hello, everyone. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. My name is Bernard Little, and I serve as the Chief Diversity Officer and Dean for Students at Waubonsie Community College. It's hard to pronounce that for some folks, but Waubonsie Community College. I have been in the field for the same amount of time, about 12 years. Excited to be here and learn from these wonderful panels.
All right. So, question to our panelists. If you could describe your career path with one word, what word would you use and why?
I'll go intentional. Now, let me go with strategic. Gosh, either one of them. But the reason why is because I really thought through what I wanted to do, what my options and opportunities are, and really take my time. So I have actually seen a couple of my mentees on here, but I'm always preaching intentionality because a job search is taxing, it's very exhausting. So when people are like, oh, I'm looking for anything at any level, I'm like, that you're going to exhaust yourself. You're not going to be able to provide the time and attention that needs to be, the details that need to be given to any particular search, and being clear on what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. Even if you still cast a wide net, you can be intentional with that, but you can also maximize the type of support and assistance that you're seeking, and people can help you the best when you're clear on what you need support with.
I was actually going to go with The same word, actually, intentional, and or a different spin on it, purposeful. Years ago, when I started my student affairs career, quite honestly, I fell into it. I became an assistant, a full-time assistant resident director at UC Santa Barbara. And I thought, okay, this will be something to do for a year. That seems like fun before I go to grad school to study anthropology. And in that year, I learned of what the field of student affairs actually is, that we are educators, that we are scholars, that we are practitioners. And so 1 year turned into 2 years. And then year number 3, I was offered an opportunity to become a full-time resident hall director. And in that, my supervisor had us do an exercise, a professional development plan. 1 year out, 5 years out, 10 years out. What roles do you want to have? What do you want to do? And what are the action steps? And literally, we worked through developing this professional plan. And it has served as a guiding light for my career choices, very similar to Ashley, the intentionality around the career choices, the skills and experience that I needed to acquire to ascend to certain roles, and also what to ask people for help on or what to ask for feedback about. And there's only one thing, and if you ask me in the Q&A, I'll tell you what it is, but there's only one thing on that PDP that I did not do.
I can go. If I were to describe in one word, I would say I'd probably cheat and use 2 words, and that would be family focused. I went into this field desiring to move on all around the country and possibly around the world. Every 2-3 years, I wanted to job hop and have opportunities on the East Coast, the West Coast. I wanted to be a dean of students and then a vice president before I was 40. I was living this trajectory, this honestly mentor-inspired white man trajectory. And I fell in love. And shortly after falling in love, I knew I had to keep that woman, and I wanted to keep her. And we welcomed a child, and I stopped focusing my career and my moves on someone else's trajectory, and I started to focus on my family. I have a partner who has zero desire to move all around the country for what she describes these very low salaries. She was very adamant that she is not the traveling spouse. And so I had to refocus on my family. I have 2 daughters who are my pride and joy, and I